an enticing target.
I got Bentley, Lamborghini, Ferrari, green or the Lotus. There's your keys. Perfect.
A state-of-the-art security system.
They have trigger plates on all the windows. They have trigger plates on different doors.
And an undercover squad determined to break in.
Go.
In the military, the elite forces used to test defenses are known as Tiger Teams. In the civilian world, there is only one Tiger Team. Their job is to crack the world's most sophisticated security systems and defeat criminals at their own game.
My name is Chris Nickerson. I run the team. My specialties are the manipulation of people, manipulation of situations.
My name is Luke McOmie. My job is breaking into computer systems.
My name is Ryan Jones. My role is in charge of physical security.
People hire us because they have no idea what they're vulnerable to. Compared to anyone else in the world who does this type of work, hands down, we're the best.
Tiger Team's newest client is Symbolic Motors in La Jolla, California, one of the most exclusive car dealerships in the country. The two-story building is a virtual fortress, armed with some of the most advanced security features money can buy.
I think our facility is very secure. We've spent quite a bit of money trying to make it so we hope it's secure.
But to be sure, he hires the Tiger Team to put the dealership to the ultimate test. With millions in Lotuses, Ferraris, and Lamborghinis sitting out on the showroom floor, Symbolic Motors is a tempting target for high-tech car thieves.
We're 50 miles from the border, so there's a good chance that if somebody takes a car, they're going to be gone. We're never going to see it again. Should I notify my alarm company that something's going to be happening, or the police or anything?
No, I would say keep it completely natural.
No one but Peterson, the manager of Symbolic Motors, knows the team has been hired, and even he won't know when they plan to strike.
Basically, I've given these guys the green light to come in and rob us sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm the only one that knows. None of the employees know, which is kind of scary.
1 week later, the team arrives in La Jolla. They have just 2 days to plan and execute a break-in at the dealership. Their ultimate goal? To drive away in a stolen car.
The first phase of any of our missions, reconnaissance, learning about the client. We have to be able to understand the target in order to know how to attack it.
So Ryan, could you key up on Simplex?
Big one, small one.
The most critical part of the recon mission is to find a possible entry point.
Come on, let's get to work. Depending on what the job is and how we're going to attack them, whether it's a physical or electronic attack, there's multiple different points of entry. One area of attack physically are doors, windows, skylights, sunroofs, or just purely smash through it.
That's our target right there. All right, let's go up here and find somewhere to park. One of the biggest problems that you have with small businesses is that there are limited points of entry. There are few places where you can actually get into the business.
And Symbolic is no exception. A perimeter survey reveals some formidable obstacles.
They have trigger plates on all of the windows. They have trigger plates on different doors. They also have trigger plates on other areas of entry within the facility.
The first floor of the building appears impenetrable, but a determined criminal wouldn't give up, so neither does the Tiger Team.
We decided, after spending a couple of hours scouting out the outside of the building, that our best bet was to check up on the roof to see if there was a better point of entry from there. At that point, Chris and Ryan started looking for a way to get up on top of the roof, and I headed back to the car to keep a lookout. In this neighborhood, we're the only thing moving right now at 2 o'clock in the morning. There's nothing else here.
Alley-oop, baby. Good work.
It's definitely dangerous being on rooftops, hopping fences, breaking into buildings in the middle of the night, especially since law enforcement has no idea we're doing it. There's a risk of us having guns pulled on us.
Like the criminals they're trying to outsmart, the team strives for the ultimate in stealth and subterfuge.
More than anything, I just keep the car running because it'll draw attention away from them.
You gotta make sure to watch that apartment while we're doing this. Because the apartments will catch us before anyone else does.
Well, on the roof, we were able to locate a number of entry points, but most of them were unsafe or unsuitable to use. But we did happen to find one small skylight in the back office that didn't have any sort of alarm system associated with it, and it looked like the perfect point to drop in.
We can pop this whole lid off. Light just went on right there.
We saw a light come on inside the building. Trying to make sure that it was just a random person going to bed or going to sleep, not someone that noticed us. Once we got down from the roof, we had realized we hadn't been detected, so Chris and I made one last stop. Oh, it's gross.
It's a nasty, horrible, ugly part of the job. But the way we look at it is that every single little piece of information that we can get about our target, that's something that'll help us in the final attack.
Whoa, got a whiff. The garbage that we got into seemed to be extremely valuable. We secured a number of different assets that night.
Look at this, Land Solutions.
One of the most important ones was a business card that showed us the IT service company that Symbolic uses.
Most people have absolutely no clue the sensitivity or the value of the information that they throw out every single day. For instance, we found that one business card in the trash that was the computer company that's recently been helping the business with their computer systems.
It's this vital clue that could unlock the next phase of the operation.
Dude, somebody better not be puking, because I will hit them.
Coming up,
Tea time.
Chris infiltrates the dealership in broad daylight. And later, a daring nighttime break-in.
Another cop.
Tiger Team is on a mission to defeat Symbolic Motors' sophisticated security system. They've already done reconnaissance from the outside. Now it's time for Phase 2, gathering intel on the car dealership's inner workings.
What we're doing today is we're going to go to the dealership and I'm going to pose as a potential buyer. I'll be able to look at all their security measures from the inside while taking some photos using this lighter cam.
Team leader Chris Nickerson has devised a creative con.
Tea time. Graham, Chris Nickerson, I just talked to you here a couple minutes ago. I went to the best hotel in the area, pretending to be a guest there. Is there any way I could get somebody to grab me? I just got out of the hotel. And then I called the Symbolic sales team and asked them if they wouldn't mind coming to pick me up so I could test drive one of their cars. Ideal, thank you so much. I'll be here. A few minutes later, they came right to my door in a fresh Lamborghini Murcielago. Worked like a charm.
While Chris tries to photograph the dealership's security setup with his hidden camera, computer expert Luke McOmie will attempt to gain access to the dealership's upstairs offices by posing as an employee of an IT service company.
This is Luke McOmie from Alternative Technology. I'm the guy that's coming down to work on your computer today.
One of the biggest ways that we're able to gain access to places is because there's an implied trust that companies have with their contracting staff.
I'm just having a hard time finding your location. What's your address?
As long as it's something to where we have been able to create some level of communication before we're on site, it'll make it to where they're going to believe that we're supposed to be there.
Now they're expecting me, so I can walk in and do what I need to do, and there shouldn't be any issue.
No one at the dealership even asked for an ID.
They walked me right into the server room. They let me right into where everything was at. The first thing I did was plant a small wireless camera in the room so that we could have a video record of what I'm doing while I'm on site.
So I'm sitting in next to the server. I've got them trying to get me a password for the server right now so I can log in.
The plan was for me to tap into the secure network and add an additional access point that would allow Ryan to access the server remotely from the surveillance car we had across the street.
Once Ryan has remote access to the computer system, he'll be able to erase the VIN numbers of Symbolic's entire fleet. Without that critical identification, any car stolen from here would be untraceable.
This is Ryan. Keep in mind that it's about 5 past 5, so you've got 30 minutes more.
But unexpectedly, Luke hits a major snag.
I can't pull data like I'd like to from the big hard drive they have here because they don't have a cable laying around.
The VIN numbers are stored on an external hard drive that's not connected to a computer, and Luke can't find the cable he needs to make the hookup.
That bug you for a second? What's the deal on the green one?
As Luke scrambles for a solution, Chris is busy gathering intelligence in the showroom.
I was in the showroom for 45 minutes tops. While I was at the dealership looking at cars, I was also shooting surveillance photos. What I was shooting was pictures of the security cameras, pictures of where motion sensors were, as well as the ways to enter and exit the facility. I was trying to get a layout of what the building looked like. Basically, everything I did after that, you know, the test drive, the sales stuff, all of that, it was just a cover so that no one would get suspicious.
Meanwhile, with the clock ticking down before the office's close, Luke is still trying to find a way to connect the external hard drive to the office computer.
Wait a minute, I have an idea.
Just in the nick of time, he comes up with a makeshift solution.
I just found a cable on a printer. Somebody used the printer cable. Awesome. Are you there? I'm here. You'll have to assign yourself an address in the 192.168 1 namespace.
All right, I got it.
As Ryan begins erasing the VIN numbers off the dealership's hard drive, Luke attempts the critical last phase of his plan.
One of the most important things that we needed to know was how to disarm Symbolic's alarm system. I'm going to go place a hidden camera right over near where the keypad is at. On the way out, I planted a small wireless camera next to the alarm keypad so that we could watch it remotely from the hotel.
Luke, let's go ahead and get out of here.
Okay, so this is the first floor. All right, this is the best point of entry that we have.
Back at the hotel room, the team analyzes all the intel they've collected, and they're daunted by what they've found. Symbolic's security system is more complicated than they had originally anticipated.
The problem with the business that we're going after tonight is that they potentially have 10 or 20 hidden cameras scattered throughout the business, and it'll make it to where it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to hide ourselves from view of the cameras.
This is where the keys are, in this corner. So that means that there's a motion sensor there. That means there's a motion sensor there.
The team may have stolen the alarm code, but it'll be useless if they can't overcome the host of obstacles between their point of entry and the alarm pad. Coming up, the team faces unexpected challenges as they attempt their daring late-night break-in. The Tiger team has done reconnaissance, gathered intel, and formulated a plan for putting Symbolic Motors' security system to the ultimate test. Now, finally, it's time for Phase 4, the heist.
Ryan, are you there?
Are you able to hear me?
All good.
I have seen one cop in the area that drove by the alley.
Okay. Thanks for the help.
Right on. Another cop rolling in front of the business right now. This guy acts like he's got a little bit more going on.
All right, listen, tell him to dump the car down away from here.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Dump the car. Get your ass out here.
On my way.
Based on their initial recon mission, the team knows that the skylight is the only way in. But it's a narrow passage with a long drop, a highly risky maneuver.
We removed the screws on the top of the skylight, pulled off the lid, dropped a rope down inside that we tied a couple knots in.
Finally, it's go time. Whatever awaits the team on the other side, there's no turning back now.
The moment when I dropped that skylight was an adrenaline rush.
Luckily so far, no alarms, no surprises. And while the rest of the dealership is protected by high-tech security measures, these upstairs offices are surprisingly vulnerable.
The first door I picked was the owner's office.
It's the CEO's office. That would make sense.
Inside, the team makes an incredible discovery. a treasure trove of sensitive information, including the social security numbers and financial records of some of the world's wealthiest people.
We found initially business-destroying type evidence.
Client records, all kinds of accounts, VIN numbers for the cars.
If it got out to the world, the amount of suits, the amount of privacy issues that they would have probably would crush them as a business.
Among their findings, a contract from a major Hollywood star just sitting on the floor.
A picture of that would be in order.
So it's got a home address of Nick on there and the location of where he keeps all of his super expensive cars. Maybe that's the next target.
The team has its hands on priceless personal information, but the most challenging part of their mission is still ahead, getting past the alarm system to steal a car.
There's a motion sensor.
On the way to the main showroom floor, the area of our biggest concern was the motion sensor at the top of the stairs.
If the device picks up even the slightest movement, police will be on the scene within seconds. But then, Luke makes an incredible observation about the sensor's positioning.
I was able to tell that it was aimed too high. It couldn't see down the stairwell.
Based on his calculations, Luke should have at least 2 feet of room. But to be safe, he does everything in super slow motion. A difficult task when your heart is pounding a mile a minute.
Having to move so exceptionally slow that a piece of equipment isn't triggering gets scary.
Right around this corner is a keypad to disable the security system for this whole place. We already have the code because we captured it on film, so let's just get it disabled. Ready to arm. We took it out. It's off. This is the main showroom. These are only keys for the main showroom. I got Bentley, Lamborghini, Ferrari, greener the Lotus. There's your keys. Perfect.
And to ensure a clean getaway, Luke removes the final piece of evidence that they were ever in the dealership.
All the video of us doing anything bad right here.
What we decided to do was open up the front showroom doors. Ryan picked through those. The car that I test drove yesterday was in between those 2 doors. I removed the Lotus from the facility. I went down the road, turned the car around, came back into the facility, and I left them a note requesting that they turn their philosophy of security around.
When you're done and you've actually finished the job, the feeling that you get, knowing that you were able to get past their security, knowing that you were able to do something that they didn't think you were going to be able to do, it's just amazing.
We didn't steal every car there, but what we did do was let them know that we could.
Coming up, symbolic manager Chris Peterson gets a harsh wake-up call.
The alarm does not trigger.
All right.
The Tiger team has managed to pull off a daring break-in at one of the country's most exclusive car dealerships.
So basically it seems as if the security team made it in here last night. They left me a little note. They were able to turn off the alarm system, disable the motion detectors. The alarms never went off. The cops never came. They were able to grab all of our clients' information, their social security numbers, their bank account information. Pretty much they got everything that we didn't want them to get.
You Chris?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, how's it going? I'm Chris Nickerson.
Now it's time to reveal to the client all the holes in his security.
Luke, good to meet you. So how difficult was it actually getting in here?
We were able to find a real small area up on the roof that we're able to come in. But other than that, the place was like Fort Knox. If you'd like, I can walk you through a couple of the different ways that we assessed the facility as well as the way we got in.
Yeah, that'd be great.
This is the skylight that we had looked at when we were on the roof, that we saw that there was no trigger plates. Once we came down here, we saw that the only thing that would really defeat the purpose of us coming in would be this camera. So this is the first office that we were able to enter. It's
It's a little bit of a weak lock. It took me about a minute to pick through it. Once we got in, the first thing we noticed was a contract that one of your customers had just signed. Had been slid under the door because I guess he had just purchased one of your vehicles.
How difficult was it to pick the lock safes?
The lock safe took about 45 seconds.
One of the things that I noticed when I came in and I was acting as a PC tech is that if you watch the test light, right about here is when you'll first see the red light come on. So we knew that we had 2 to 3 feet of space. So you'll notice that as long as I stay really low to the floor, the alarm does not trigger.
All right.
So if they'd put like a wedge behind it and tilt it down, you'd still be able to get all of this area, but you'd also be able to cover these stairwells too.
I was just completely baffled by how they got in. I mean, it's crazy to me. Well, I guess thank you for robbing me.
Hey, it's what we do.
We're definitely going to implement the changes. See you later.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Take care.